Hi, this is Sunil Ramlall. This video deals with the role of human resource management in driving firm performance in organizations today. As we know, in the global economy, we're all striving for creating sustainable competitive advantages. So then, what is the role of human resource management in enabling a firm to create that source of competitive advantage? We talk about organization capability. After all modes of competition have been eroded, what's left? It's the people of the organization. So then how do we manage the people in the organization as a means to creating that sustainable competitive advantage? We look at some of the most progressive organizations today, the Apple, the Target, the Best Buy, and the large organizations, Microsoft. They've all had struggles, but then how do they utilize their people in order to foster human capital strategies that will differentiate them from their competitors? I will share with you a few slides as we go. Please follow along, and as you know, this is about dealing with aligning people, strategies, and organizational outcomes. So what do you need to know about the role of HR in organizations? One, we have to analyze the role of HRM and explain how basically HR contributes to an organization's performance. As students in HR, as practitioners in the field of human resource management, we have to understand the core concept of how we understand able to apply HR strategies to develop the core competencies, like I said, organization capability, and integrate our HR strategies to create those sources of competitive advantages. And then thinking about your organization, how do we integrate the philosophical perspectives on the role of HR in today's global economy? It's said that we in HR, all of us as HR professionals are fortunate in working an occupation, in a profession that's continuing to grow. There is a citation by Schramm in 2013 that alludes to that and continue today, especially as the unemployment rate decreases and there's a greater need for employees. We look at the retirement also, that people are retiring faster today than 10 years ago. So what are some of the activities within the field of human resource management? One, we have to talk about analysis and design of work. So what work does one actually do? Second, HR planning. What goes into planning for people, task, and actual work people are doing? Recruitment deals with attracting the right people, having the right fit, with the right attitudes and behaviors that will drive performance in the organization. How do we go about selecting the employees, the candidates with the right attitude, who will have the appropriate behaviors that are linked to performance in the organization? Then, of course, the issue of training development. Here we're talking about developing expertise, human expertise, for the purpose of developing performance, for improving performance at individual, process, and organizational levels. Then compensation. How do we positively reward employees for their behaviors and performance that drive performance? Performance management and employee relations. Those are all factors that impact how a company performs. We continue. Today we find, for example, Target Corporation is going through some struggles where they have been challenged on how they're competing. What is it about your organization? What are your global strategies? How is it that you position your organization through strategic human resource management to compete effectively? Is it through price? Is it through service? Is it through differentiating to your people? Regardless, we all have to attract, retain, and motivate our employees as a means of driving performance. What we're doing here is just really providing examples of ways in which we can develop our own HR practices at our respective organizations through using the respective readings, the conversations that we're having, these videos, case studies that will enforce what we're doing. So we have to look at the whole employment cycle, attracting the right people, making the right decisions on whom to select. When they're in organizations, what is it that we need to do to motivate them, positively motivate them? We define motivation as the amount of voluntary energy one is willing to exert as a means to achieving organizational goals and objectives. Human capital strategies, similar to what we're doing with HR, different term, slightly different term, but focusing more on the human capital that we have. Let me scroll down here a little bit. At companies with effective HR practices, we tend to be more innovative. Look at Apple Corporation, innovation to the maximum. What is it that they do that would enable the organizations to be more innovative? Well, they hire people who are creative, who are innovative. We look at the employees who have greater productivity and develop a more favorable reputation in a community. Well, what drives productivity? Think about this for a second. What is it that your organization and your department that drives productivity? Think through that. So regardless of what you have thought of there, productivity may come by efficient management of people. Second, it may come through managing other forms of resources that you have, financial, other ways. Well, we define human capital as an organization employees in terms of training, experience, judgment, intelligence, etc. And the whole concept of human resource management implies that employees are resources of the employer. Show you this slide here. Impact of human resource management. So this is in a nutshell what this presentation is about. When we talk about human resource management, we're talking about the types of human capital that we have. Let's walk through this here. So we have human resource management, the whole concept, the whole strategy of HR. So what are some of the types of human capital strategies that we use? Training, the experience that each person brings to the organization, judgment, each of us brings in a certain level of intelligence, all in different areas, relationships that we may have, and insights. Well, how do these here impact, this is critical, behavior of human capital? How much motivation do we have? What level of effort are we exerting as a means to achieving those outcomes? And what are the organizational performance outcomes we're looking for? Well, quality, profitability, and customer satisfaction. Because we have proven over time how quality, of course, profitability, but how quality and customer satisfaction, internal and external, impact profitability. We can succeed. You can succeed as an organization if it has sustainable sources of competitive advantage. Yes, we may have short-term sources of competitive advantage, but are they sustainable over a longer period of time? We in HR have that necessary quality basically to help organizations create this advantage. We argue, and we know, actually we've proven through research over time, that human resources are valuable. We are the core asset of an organization. Human resources with needed skills and knowledge are sometimes rare. That is what we talk about: limited capacity, limited resources. Human resources cannot be imitated. Other forms can compete your strategies if it's a product. But who makes that product? Are we innovative enough to make different products? But HR, human resources, human capital cannot be imitated. And human resources have no good substitutes. Take, for example, the case of Southwest Airlines. The company's focus basically is on keeping employees loyal, motivated, trained, and compensated. In turn, actually, Southwest has one of the lowest turnover rate and one of the highest customer satisfaction rate in the entire airline industry. What drives that is that they treat the employee well. They have the employees who are basically enjoying Southwest culture, and there's a sense of loyalty. Sometimes that's missing in organizations today. In all of this, we are trying to create a high-performance work system. What is a high-performance work system? Basically, it's an organization in which technology, organization structure, people, and processes all work together to give an organization an advantage in the competitive environment. So it is about pulling together the people, the structure, and all the processes that we have integrated into a common strategy. We're all working towards that common objective. Everything linked together, everything is synchronized, that would help to drive performance. So when we have an engaged, enabled employees, we tend to deliver a higher rate. Examples are here. But the key in all of this, takeaway, supporting the organization's strategies through human resource management. In HR planning, we identify the numbers and types of employees the organization require to meet its objectives. Second, the organization may turn to its HR department for help in managing the change process. Of course, we know that the only constant in strategy is change. You have to be a skilled HR professional, and you have to be able to apply knowledge of human behavior, along with performance management tools that would help the organization manage change constructively and efficiently. This is critical. Of course, we talk a lot about what we do, but how we talk about more of what we make happen in organization. And this is called evidence-based HR. So evidence-based human resource management and evidence-based management in general. Here we're talking about collecting and using data to show how HR practices and strategies positively influence the company's bottom line or key stakeholders. So how do HR practices impact customer satisfaction? How do HR practices impact profitability, return on assets, return on investments, productivity of each employee? So for the profitability, how many employees does it take to achieve that? Whatever financial measures or other measures, quality measures you want to use, it has to be evidence-based though. Do you have the data to support it? Do you have the data that would show longitudinal evidence of how the different investments impact the respective outcomes? We cannot drive performance, financial performance, without having a valid corporate social responsibility. And as we're talking about a company's commitment to meeting the needs of its stakeholders. People, profit, planet. The three P's we talk about also: people, profit, and planet. So looking at your organizations, can we identify some global trends that are impacting organization? Of course, there is globalization, mega competition, ultra competitive environment, decreased or deregulation and increased indebtedness, more high-tech jobs, more service jobs, critically an aging workforce, a more diverse workforce. So given these trends, what are some things that we can do? Well, we have to be more competitive. We have to be faster and more responsive. That's where we talk about agile organizations. We have to be more human capital oriented, invest in training, invest in the development of people. We talk about positive work environments. Create positive work environments. Look at the strengths of each employee and how they impact the organization. You and I, therefore, employers would therefore expect from HR management that they focus on the big picture issues, such as helping the company achieve its strategic goals. So HR is just not there about hiring, that, etc., managing challenges, but it's about driving performance, finding new ways to create high performance work system, create strategies and practices that would impact the financial outcomes, manage ethically, and have the proficiencies required to do these things. For instance, a command of strategic management and financial budgeting. So what are some skills that we need of HR professionals? The Society for Human Resource Management list credible activists. Dave Aldrich, other researchers have used this and created some of these skills and competencies that we need. So to be a credible activist, a strategic architect, talent manager, cultural steward, a business partner, and an operational implementation. Dave Aldrich and his colleagues just a year or two ago talked about being a credible activist, about capability builder, technology proponent, HR innovator and integrator, and being a change champion. What are some of the core competencies that we need as an HR professional? Relationship management. So are we good in establishing professional relationship and managing those over time? Ethical practices. You are the champion of ethical practices. You must have the HR expertise. And as a student or a practitioner, it's expected that you have the academic foundation in which you would have developed that HR expertise. Just not HR, but overall business acumen. Ability to evaluate all that we're doing. Create a diverse environment and be inclusive. Leadership and navigation, being consultative, effective at communicating. And these are some of the competencies that we need. For your organization, for your industry, there may be unique competencies that are necessary. So who's responsible for HR? We know that in any organization, who should be concerned with HR management? Is it only HR departments, only HR managers? Or is it managers and HR departments? Of course, it's everyone, senior leadership, line management, HR practitioners. We have to get the supervisors involved, the line managers involved to help define jobs, to forecast HR needs. This is not something that we do as HR professionals alone, but it has to be in collaboration with our colleagues who are actually doing this job every day. Again, you see here a set of strategies that we would have to partner with our managers. So in sum here, I propose that human resource management consists of an organization, people practices, the policies, the people, the systems that influence employees' behavior, attitudes, and performance. HR is about aligning people and strategies as a means to achieving organizational outcomes. HR influences who work for the organization and how those people work. And of course, HR departments have responsibility for a variety of functions related to acquiring and managing employees. What is it that you're going to take away from this? What is it that you will utilize? We read our textbook, read our articles, reflect back on your own organization. What is your organization good at? What is your organization needing to improve on? So how do we create HR strategies that will drive performance? And we're talking about performance at 3 levels: individual, process, and organization. 3 sets of outcomes, areas that we have to focus on. So how do you then develop your strategies? Utilize the reading, utilize the articles, research scholars such as Ulrich, Becker, all of those individuals who have helped to build the HR function to where it is today. Become members of the Society for Human Resource Management, the largest HR organization in the world. Become members, become active in professional organizations such as those. Remember, it's about aligning people, strategies, and organizational outcomes. Each HR professional is a business partner. We manage, we lead business. We are there to achieve organizational outcomes, simply not to know policies or plan the picnics and all of that. Those are ancient practices. Those are the personal days of HR. So if that's the case in your organization, I think there's needs for some radical changes where we are creating progressive HR strategies that will drive performance. I'll continue to create these videos sequence where we talk about different strategies that would help to create sustainable competitive advantages. So in sum, what have we done? We have looked at what exactly is human resource management, some of the key areas within the role or function of human resource management, and reinforce that people are the major source of sustainable competitive advantages. So I trust that we are able to reflect, utilize our readings, conversations, this video to have a better understanding of strategic human resource management today. Thank you for listening.